Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, with the hadith lesson, we continue with the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which we reviewed multiple times, but we will continue over it again and review with another hadith of Tamim al-Dari that we've been discussing for the past couple of lessons. Just to review over again the first hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the context of it is that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed by his companions while they were sitting with each other and discussing what they learned from Prophet Muhammad about the end times and about the Day of Judgment. And he gave them a promise that the Day of Judgment will not happen, or the end times will not happen unless 10 things happen. And he named out some of them, such as the coming of the Dajjal, the return of Isa ibn Maryam as a ruler for the Muslims. And we've been discussing the story of the Masih al-Dajjal, and we've explained his identity, how he looks like, how Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam described him. And we also mentioned a hadith of someone named Tamim al-Dari, which became a companion of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we will just point out some of the things in his story so that you won't get confused with it. We will just review over again and explain some stuff in his story again. His story begins with him and 30 of his friends went out to a sea voyage. As it is described in the hadith, something that is a great ship. They went out in a really large ship with a lifeboat with them, and they had a lot of food with them. They had a lot of resources with them to stay out in the sea for a long time. And what points out to that they were so prepared is that he mentioned that they were straight at sea for a whole month, being straight off of the course that they were going on originally because of the waves in the ocean or in the sea that they were in, but they never ran out of water and never ran out of food or resources. So they were already prepared to go somewhere far. And we explained in the past lessons that he probably ended up somewhere around the Atlantic, because if he somehow went to the Indian Ocean or went even to the Pacific Ocean, these are known to have high waves, and he would have not been confused by that. So the reason why he mentioned it is that he went somewhere like the Mediterranean or the Atlantic, where it's known to have calm seas, and that's why he was confused because of how rough the water was when he went there. And as the story goes on, they were lost in the sea for about a month, and eventually they washed up on a shore of an island that was surrounded by nothing. It was uninhabited. They stayed in the lifeboat that was tied to their ship for a small amount of time until it reached about dawn. They decided to go out of that lifeboat and search in the island, and they found a creature which in the hadith is named the Dabba, which is the first thing that we're going to point out. The Dabba that they met, the name Dabba is given basically to any animal. So the Dabba that they met isn't the one that's going to come out at the end times that Prophet Muhammad talked about. It's going to rule out the Muslims from non-Muslims, and it's going to differentiate between them. These are not the same creature. They may be given the same name, but in Arabic that word Dabba just means animal or just a living creature. But they are two different creatures. They were scared from that creature that they saw, or from that animal that they saw, if it's an animal, because it had really large fur, it had really dense fur, so they couldn't understand where its head is from its rear. They couldn't understand anything about that creature. But somehow it did talk to them in their language, in their dialect. It talked to them and said, I am the Jassasa. The word Jassasa itself means something like a spy or something like an agent. And later, as they talked to it, they understood that this creature is some kind of intelligence agent for the Dajjal that they met on the island. That animal or that creature did not explain anything about itself, and just told them that there is someone in that part of the island who is eager to hear from you, is eager to hear anything that you may have to say. And they went and met the person who's there, who turns out to be the Dajjal, and he kept asking about some stuff that were mainly economic. He started asking them stuff such as the lake named Tabariya in Jordan, does it have water? They answered him and said, yeah, it has lots of water. And he told them, yeah, the water there is going to dry up. And he asked them about the palm trees in a place named Baisan, does it have fruits? And they told him, yeah, it has lots of fruit. And then he told them, no, it's not going to have fruit anymore. He asked them about some wells the Arabs used for agriculture and to feed their camels and horses and animals. And he said, do these people use that water for agriculture and use it to grow food and to feed their animals? They said, yeah, they do that. And he said, no, that water is going to dry up. He asked stuff that is mainly economic. He was asking stuff that he knew the Arabs relied on. Because it's known for the Arabs that they mainly relied on stuff like dates, which are what's grown on palm trees that he asked about, and they mainly grow on water. And it is narrated about Prophet Muhammad that for many months, him and his companions only lived on just dates and water. That was a staple in Arab life. So if they ran out of water or they ran out of dates, they're basically not going to survive. He was asking about stuff that could shift the economic system that is happening on that region. And after he asked them these questions, all he told them, he did not give them any more answers. He just told them, I am the Dajjal, and it's about to be allowed for me to go out of this place and to finally go out to the world. And he told them that he's going to go to, that he's about to go to every inhabited place on earth. He's not going to leave a single village, but he's not allowed to go anywhere near Medina or Mecca. Allah Azza wa Jalla has ruled it so that whenever he goes there, angels stop in his way and don't allow him to go anywhere near these two places, but he will go out everywhere on earth.
Okay. أي سؤال؟ Any question? جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله يبارك فيكم.